All right, page 63, and we're looking at the next question, question 3. And we've got here the drawing below shows the details of a submerged reinforced concrete pump station. All right, now this particular question was, I suspect, a past year test question. All right, so good practice for you guys for a test. All right, so let's look at question 4. All right, question 4 on page 65. And let's get the drawing out here. All right, so question 4 on page 65 and 66 asks you to take off quantities for 4 standard brickwork manholes to be constructed. Drawing details are submitted as Annexure A, and here's Annexure A. Project details: the access chamber is 600 by 600 internally, which is covered by a heavy-duty cast iron manhole cover and frame bedded in 1:3 mortar. All right, remove the topsoil. We know what to do with that. Spoil is to be cut to a dump site situated 2.5 kilometers away. We know how to handle that. All right. 2 manholes. The normal material is to a depth of 500 millimeters from natural ground level, and thereafter it is rock. In 1 manhole, normal material is to a depth of 1 meter, thereafter it is rock. And there is only normal material in the remaining manhole. Oh crap, now what? Multiple conditions. And I chose this particular question to do because coming off the last one, a lot of students may still be a little bit shaky on the concept of extra over, right? And this particular question should give you a better idea. Also, we have 4 items. The first thing that should come to your mind, the factors or the factor column, all right? Allow for 50 millimeter MPa, 15 MPa binding. A roof slab is 20 MPa concrete, while the floor slab is 25 MPa. Now, coming after the last one, 3 different strengths, so we know what to do there in terms of the line items for the bill of quantities. And 9 wasn't really necessary, but I had to put in there because somebody would muck it up or get confused. I'm saying 4 manholes are to be quantified, not 1. And if you counted the conditions, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 manholes, different conditions. Think of it as something like this. You've got a housing development as a road, and you got a manhole here, a manhole here, a manhole here. All right? All right. And what happened was the soil conditions are different there as to there, as to there, as to there. That's why. Got a housing development and 4 different conditions, 4 different manholes because the soil conditions differ in that particular project. Okay, so let's look at the drawing. Compared to the last one, if you recall, we had concrete. Now I'm giving you brickwork. All right, so I'm drawing in some constants or some of your knowledge of estimation already, if you haven't realized that. Okay, what am I asking for here? If we quantify, I want to know number of bricks. And if I know the area, I know the thickness of the brickwork, then I can also quantify meter cube of daga or your building material or your plaster and building sand, all that. All right, or sorry, the word I'm looking for is mortar. All right, so you can quantify mortar. All right, so also one more thing. Heavy duty cast iron manhole cover. All right, believe it or not, that's also part of the quantities. I'll show you how to handle that in your bill of quantities. All right, so let's look at this. All right, let's see what we call this. First and foremost, let's put the page 65. All right, one. What is this? There to there, 3020, and from there to there. Check this out, please. 181. 184. All right. All right. This is for one. This is for one. This is for one. But now we have extra over. All right. We have to look at all of them because there are conditions for all of them. So let's look at the first one. The condition for two manholes. Condition for one manhole. but you said there's 4. So what happened to the third one? There is only normal material in the remaining manhole. So there's no extra over for it. All right? So only 3 of the 4 had an extra over condition because the soil was different underneath. All right, so if you're wondering where's the 4th one, no, there isn't going to be a 4th one. All right, but we'll have to accommodate for that in our calculations, right? And this is how, right? 3.0 overhaul. All right, 4 times, what was the material? 16.51. Right, what is the distance we're hauling? 2.5 kilometers away times 2.5 minus 0.5, which is the free haul, and you're getting, what do you get? 138.78 meter cube dot kilometer. All right, what's next? 4.0, concrete. So we'll turn another page here, something. That's 4.3, let's look at 5, let's call it reinforcing. All right, now, what did they use for reinforcing in this equation? All right, notice I did not give you for the concrete strength X amount kg per meter cube of concrete. I didn't, you can't see it here. But if you go to the sketch, what do you see? See little dashes there and reference 311 and reference 245. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the thickness of the reinforcing mesh that we're using for reinforcing instead of reinforcement bars. Okay, if you go back and read your notes, you'll see we've got areas for floor slabs, we're using mesh. Okay, now mesh is an area, right? That is why you don't see a weight. Okay, so let's see how we handle it. All right, for 245, which is, let's put here reference 245. Now, reference 245 is sitting on the floor. All right, so we need it to the full area of the floor, and we know what the area is, 5.56 meters squared. No calculations, it's already done. Okay, but reference 311 is now sitting in the roof, but there's a hole there. So it's going to be that subtract the area of the hole, which will probably give us 5.56 minus 0.6, and we're looking at what? 5.2 meters squared. So that angle is referencing. Sorry, reinforcing. Now let's look at something else. Let's look at brickwork. Okay, we put the floor on, we put the reinforcing. Now we're gonna put the brickwork of the walls, and let's get some quantities there. Notice also again, if I were to break this up, there, and there, I'm getting panel A equal to A, B equal to B, all right? And that's shortened, we're using the full length. You know what that is about from the last concrete reservoir example. All right, so let's times 2, right, plus 2 times minus 2 times 0.22, and we should get something like 6.04 plus 2.8, and we're getting 8.84. All right. What is that? That would be the perimeter of this entire thing. All right. What is the height? Times the height of 2.05, and we get what? 18.22 meters squared. 18.22 meters squared of all that brickwork. And if you know the area, drawing on your knowledge from what we've done estimation, at 108 bricks, because it's a single brick wall, we can get the number of bricks, 1957.176 bricks. All right, please don't round off at this stage. You'll see why. Remember, this is a calculation for one. If you round off this to the next, you're actually increasing the quantities for bricks unnecessarily. All right, so don't round off at this stage. All right, so from brickwork, what do we know? After brickwork, what do we know? If we know the area, we also can calculate mortar. But remember, there's also further. Okay, let's see next page. Okay, extra over there. Let's go here. Number of bricks. All right. And if you do this math on this, 2169.72 times 4. 2169.72 times 4. We're getting, what are we getting? We're getting 8670. So let's buy it to the next 100. All right. And let's say we're buying 8,700 bricks. Okay. And that was brickwork. All right, so basically that's how we quantify it and put into our bill of quantities. Now, as you can see from this particular question, right, I tried to bring in different items, right, simple to a little bit complex, right? So we've got conditions here that we have to take into consideration, and then we've got something different in terms of reinforcing. So in terms of reinforcing, we didn't have per kg meter cube, we had an area. So that's new. How did I bring brickwork and mortar into this calculation? There we go, we found a number of bricks. And I didn't round up here. I actually rounded up here, all right? To get a more accurate count. And then from the bricks, we knew how to calculate mortar based on our estimation knowledge. And shuttering, you need to figure this out or do it your own way, the way you interpret it, you probably still come to these answers, right? Or that final answer. And lastly, something, no calculations involved, but we still need to buy it or put it into the structure when we're finished, okay? Now you'll experience something like this with Windows. If I give you a structure with Windows, then you have to put in Windows, a code, ND4, ND12, ND1, how many of them, how many of them. All right, and this usually carries about a 1 mark each in your bullet quantity. So marks for mapping there. All right, so that brings us to the end of this particular question.